again. The leaves are falling, the pumpkin spice is flowing, and there's a certain nip in the air. Unless you live in the South like me, where it's still 90 degrees in freaking October. Bipolar weather aside, Halloween has always been one of my favorite holidays since I was a kid, and I still get to enjoy it as an adult. I get free candy, I get to carve cool jack-o'-lanterns, and I get to watch all the little monsters come out and play. You know the ones. The vampires, the werewolves, the witches, the eldritch abominations that will drive mankind to the brink of insanity. Wait, what was that last one? This is Darkest Dungeon, a roguelike dungeon-crawling RPG that challenges you to not only keep your beleaguered band of adventurers alive, but keep them from going insane as well. Now, I wanted to cover this game for my Halloween special for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's one of my favorite go-to games and I still love playing it. Number two, its dark, creepy, eldritch-style atmosphere makes it perfect for this time of year. And number three, I'm a huge coward and I don't like playing really scary games. The story is that you've inherited an expansive estate from an old relative. He explains that, while dabbling with the occult, because what else do you do when you're wealthy and bored, he inadvertently opened a gateway to another dimension, allowing horrific creatures to come through and destroy everything. Good going, Grandpa! Now it falls to you to return home and cleanse these lands of these foul beasts, aka clean up the mess your Gramps left behind. You create and control a party of up to 4 characters to explore the estate. Each character has their own class, Crusader, Highwayman, Plague Doctor, and so on, along with their own set of attack and rest skills. Something important to note is that each character also has a preferred position that they're the most effective in. See, your party moves in a single file line, and certain attacks will only work if the character is in a certain spot. So make sure and pay extra attention to where you put characters when you're building your party. Characters can also have any number of quirks. These quirks can be either boons, like increased damage against certain enemies or boost when in a certain area, or they can be detrimental, like being obsessed with wealth, being afraid of the dark, or just being clumsy. Basically, there's a lot to keep track of here, but you're gonna need to keep track of it all if you want to build the best party you can for the task at hand. Once your party is assembled, you can start exploring the dungeons, and you'll find plenty to explore here. The dungeons are littered with all kinds of interactable objects, treasures, and curios, but don't just go clicking around indiscriminately. You never know if that bookcase will contain an evil book to corrupt your hero, or if that treasure chest you've been oogling is actually a booby trap. Also, you'll want to keep an eye on your torch level as well. As you go further in, your torch will start getting dimmer, making your party more stressed out and making it easier for enemies to surprise you. So just make sure you always have plenty of torches on hand. Speaking of enemies, you'll find no shortage of them here. Now, the combat is your typical turn-based fare, but it feels far more stressful in this game than in any other game. Why is that, you ask? Because when your hero dies in a dungeon, they die for good. No respawns, no revives, no Phoenix Downs. All of your equipment and all of that time you spent raising them up, gone in an instant. But Storius, no! Why couldn't it have been patches? This game is all about risk versus reward, and about being careful nearly to the point of paranoia. Your characters are not superpowered heroes. Heck, they're not even all that strong to start with. But they're all you got, and you have to keep them alive or risk losing them forever. And it really makes you think twice about every single decision you make in this game. Is it really worth checking out that super suspicious treasure chest? My health and sanity have already taken pretty big hits. It could be a trap. Whatever, I'm sure it'll be fine. Dang it! Every missed attack, every critical strike from the enemy, every trap you blindly wander into sets you on edge, wondering if that careless blow is all it'll take to kill off your favorite character for good. It's stressful to be sure, but also thoroughly engaging. And speaking of stressful, what really sets this game apart is its insanity mechanics. Now, I've seen games in the past that have tried to implement a sanity meter to represent the player character going insane, and some of them have done it pretty well. But to me, no one does it better than Darkest Dungeon. As you progress through the dungeon, your character's stress meter will start building up. And once it reaches a breaking point, one of two things will happen. Sometimes, your character will break through the stress and insanity and get a huge buff for the rest of the campaign, which when it does happen is pretty freaking sweet. But most of the time, your character will fall into the depths of despair and go insane. They'll stop taking orders from you, start hurting themselves or other party members, and can even drive the rest of your party insane as well. And once a party member goes insane, there's little else you can do for them until you get back to town, which makes an already difficult task even more arduous. It's not just your character's health you have to worry about, it's their sanity too. After each successful or unsuccessful mission, you'll return to your estate where you can gear up for the next campaign. For those adventurers who survive their horrific ordeal, you can upgrade their weapons and armor at the blacksmith, or have them learn new skills at the guild or from the survivalist. You can also, more importantly, lower their stress by either sending them to the bar to have a little fun or to the abbey for a moment of self-reflection. Just know that if you do put your characters here, you won't be able to use them for the next campaign. Also, certain characters are forbidden from or will only accept certain forms of stress relief. Again, that depends on their quirks, so make sure you double check before you send everybody off to the bar for a good time. If your characters are truly far gone or afflicted by some foul disease, you can try sending them to the sanitarium to have them treated. Or you could always just say screw it and start over fresh by recruiting new characters from the caravan. And the cycle continues from there. You continue exploring what remains of your family's once proud estate, and continue trying, struggling to keep your explorers alive and in their right minds. And when that party falls, and they will all fall, you find new fools to take their place, and you dive back in once more. They say the textbook definition of insanity is repeating the same act over and over again, and expecting a different outcome each time. Which begs the question, am I insane for returning to these dungeons time and time again, and expecting these pitiful worms to not be traumatized and ravaged by the horrors within? I mean, I don't know. It's just a game. Right? Hey everyone, thanks for watching the Super Geek Girl Halloween episode. And sorry about the jump scare there at the end. Hey, I had to get one good scare in on Halloween, right? Anyway, if you guys like what I do and want to see more of it, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. You can also check out my blog, Super Geek Girl Report, for reviews, opinions, and more. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Twitter as well. Happy Halloween, and I'll see you guys next time.